We're actually doing a lot of things today. Only one of them is the flower ceremony. But I'm going to start with dandelions. So if you've been around for a little while, one thing you'll know is that I love dandelions. I have loved dandelions my whole life. My maternal grandfather intentionally cultivated the dandelions in his yard out of my deep love for these reckless yellow flowers that showed up where they weren't wanted. This had the beautiful side effect of blowing dandelion seeds down the road to my parents' house, where my father was trying desperately to keep his yard free of anything that wasn't Kentucky bluegrass. I've been doing that to him my whole life. One of my favorite things about humanism, about ethical culture, about humanistic religion is that it is flat, like this. I know, I stand up here, and let me tell you, if our cameras liked it, I would stand down there. Because the point isn't, I'm special and know more than you, so I'm on the stage. I am special, and I do know a lot of things. But you're also very special and know a lot of things. We share this space. In a lot of traditional religion, there is someone who is understood to be better than, more than, closer to the truth. They are a priest who stands up in front of the crowd and never touches, who does a ritual facing away from you. Because connection isn't the point. Doing the right things is the point. Connecting to God in the right way is the point. There are traditions where people say, well, my pastor says, and then there are no questions after that. Here, I speak, and then you are actively encouraged to speak in response. Here, I know at least one of today's new members felt comfortable because after I spoke, someone got up and said, I don't agree. And I said, okay, cool. And that is fundamentally different from how religion is done in so many places, historically and contemporaneously around the world. I love our humanistic traditions because they ask us to be changed by each other. They ask us to see the world and our communities as being changed. We've been talking a lot lately about Felix Adler, founder of ethical culture, and this idea of eliciting the best and bringing out the uniqueness in each person. I've been talking about that as aliveness instead of best or uniqueness because I think aliveness speaks a little more to what we want to get at. Some of you have WES t-shirts. All of you can have WES t-shirts. Ask me how. Some of you have WES t-shirts, and you will notice when people wear them, hoodies, all of that, the logo has a bouquet of flowers in the middle. And the flowers don't match each other. It is not a bouquet of daisies, a bouquet of roses, a bouquet of sunflowers. They are not all the same flower. And the bouquet is changed in concept, in metaphor. We've moved away from the shirt and into a metaphor. The bouquet is changed by each new person who comes into our community. The flowers that are brought up on this stage when we celebrate the flower ceremony every year are different depending on who's in the room and what kinds of flowers they like, what kinds of flowers they are. The Garden of WES is made bigger and more beautiful by every person who joins us. Whether they join for a long time or just visit for one Sunday, we are always different. And our humanistic traditions teach us that is one of the places where we can get closest to knowing something true. Right? Truth isn't out there somewhere projecting its desires in on you. Truth is being generated from us together. Goodness is being generated from us together, from our choice to learn about each other, from our choice to gather together and go out into the community and get to know and work with people who we might not encounter otherwise. From our choice to try to do the next right thing. When I was writing to our potential new members about the responsibilities of membership at WES, one of the things that I wrote was that you needed to commit to making a good faith effort to live into our community pact. I said a good faith effort, not a commitment to do it, because we're all people, and sometimes we don't slow down enough to say, okay, I'm upset, and I'm upset with this person, and what I should do is I could go to them and have a reasonable conversation. Yeah, nobody angry ever is first like, I should have a reasonable conversation with that person. That's not where anybody goes immediately. You have all been in a car and mad at somebody. Your first thought is not, let me calm down. Your first thought is, hey, expletives. Okay, that's my first thought. I'm quick with the middle finger in the car. I am not my best self driving a car or in an airport. These are not the places where I get my sense of my most ethical self. A good faith effort, an attempt to be connected, an attempt to, a real attempt, to prioritize connection over being right. Scary, right? So much of traditional religion also runs on this idea that somebody knows what is right for everybody. Usually it's that God over here knows and tells in some way a clergy person. Personally, like the trees and I talk, but they've never told me what you should do. The trees and I talk about me, not about you. And somebody can tell you the right thing to do all the time. But the right thing is often different from time to time. That doesn't mean that there aren't better and worse ways to respond to a situation, right? Somebody makes you angry and you swear at them, that's usually the worst choice. It's not always the wrong choice. It's just usually not a good one. I digress. So we're celebrating 2, 3 things together in one today. And I think that they make a really beautiful combination. We're welcoming some new members. We're adding to the diversity of WES's garden. We're celebrating our spring festival, the blooming of our congregation and this time of year. And we're celebrating the flower ceremony. We're blending together our ethical culture and UU histories and making them our own, which is the thing that we do here, right? We're making it more WESy in each of the steps that we're doing. We are bringing ourselves closer together, exploring facets of what it means to be together. And we are celebrating the truly radical proposition that your joy and aliveness might change the world. We're going to start with welcoming some new members, and we'll get to the rest along the way. So I'd like to invite forward anyone who is joining today and also Board President Sarah Morris so that we can do this ceremony. Come on up, folks.
This. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now is the time when we honor our newest members and their decision to join the Washington Ethical Society. We are delighted that we will have a chance to hear from them this morning. Today, with great joy, we are welcoming, please say your names into the microphone.
Rachel.
Amy.
Joseph.
Ebuka.
Nicole.
Excellent. We are so grateful today for each one of you that you have found your way here and that you have decided to make a commitment to our community.
We have for you a certificate of membership, which includes a quote from Felix Adler. Spiritual evolution is the progressive advance of humankind toward a state of things in which the light of ethical perfection shall be reflected from the face of human society. That is, in which all people shall live and move and have their being in mutually promoting the highest life of each and all.
So we will get you those certificates filled out after platform. So come and find Sarah and I after platform. And in the moment, we're going to give you a pin. This pin has the, no, let me not walk away from the microphone while I'm talking. Thank you. This pin has the ethical culture symbol, and I'm dropping some of them. It's fine. We hope that you'll wear it with pride, as we are proud to have you in our community. And if you would pass the microphone again and just let us know why you came here.
I live not far away. I've lived in the neighborhood for 10 years, and I jog by WES a lot, and I was always curious about the name. And so before the pandemic, I came, and then I came to a platform. I enjoyed it. The pandemic happened. I wasn't involved. But then after the pandemic, I joined a Thai group. And that was that really filled a need that I had been looking for. I'm a lapsed Catholic. And I've really found as I get older, I miss the sense of community and fellowship and intentionality that when the church works, it does provide, but it wasn't providing for me.
All right. Joseph and I moved to DC in late 2019. And we were so excited. We were from small towns, and we were so excited to live in the big city and get out and do things in the world. And then it all shut down for a very long time. And we were starved for community and grew up in the evangelical faith tradition and knew that that wasn't the right move for us. So we looked around for atheist and humanistic communities because I knew that was one of my strongly held values, and found a wonderful community full of wonderful people who have embraced us very kindly.
And then she told me it had a sci-fi book club, and I was like, okay, that sounds like a pretty cool place to be. That goes beyond like the church and stuff we were raised in. I think this would be a cool place. And yeah, I met some great people here, joined the tech team, and now I'm in it. So yeah, it's been so great. And we even got married here. Like it's become a huge part of our life.
So the reason why I came today is I came to the U.S. in 2001, and ever since then, there has been so much diversity and inclusion that I still had some problem trying to understand what is really going on. And I felt like it's very, very important that I get myself attached to an organization that can help me, guide me through it, because while I was in Nigeria, I was pretty much part of a group that has more to do with diversity, So I felt like it's something that was missing, and I need to find it and fix it back. And that was why I came to this place. Thank you.
I came because I was looking for a community where we could celebrate milestones throughout the year, like holidays, celebrations. And also I was looking for a place where I could get involved with serving the community and serving. So.
In a community like ours, entrance into the congregation comes not just with a stamp from the leadership, but with an embrace from the whole membership. Therefore, we will share WES's words of welcome to our new members. If you know them, please join in.
We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come with hurt and afraid.
We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous.
We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new way, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn.
We bid you welcome, who enter this hall as a homecoming, who have found room here for your spirit, who find in this people a family.
Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. May return to your seats. Now, there were some more folks who were interested in joining us today in membership. It's okay if you missed that. If you're one of those people, let me know. We will get you all of your things. Do not worry about having missed this particular experience. We can do it again. I know how. And so does everybody else. So as we add people to our bouquet, I want to turn to the flowers. Each of these flowers is distinct from the others. Even the ones that really look alike are not actually exactly like the ones next to them. They grow a little bit different. Their color is a little bit different. Their smell is a little bit different. And they are all beautiful. So I want to invite you to take a moment and turn to the person next to you and say something nice. All right, come on back. Don't make me ring the bell. Okay. One time's pretty good. One time of the bell is not bad for y'all. So we're gonna come into the actual flower ceremony right now, but I want to talk about it just a little bit more. You heard much of Norbert Čapek's story in our reading, but I want us to think about what it takes to decide to celebrate blooming in one of the darkest places that has ever existed on this planet. To make the decision in a concentration camp to still find flowers. To still find flowers and celebrate with whoever was around to celebrate with. One of the ways I think about community is that we do the work with whoever shows up to do it with us. And some days that's less people than you wanted. And some days it's not the people that you wanted, if we're being serious. But it's always the right people. It's always the right people because getting together to learn and think and grow and serve is always the right thing to do. Connecting with other people and remembering the beauty of the world is always right because it always reaffirms your and their humanity. It's hard to look out at the world as beautiful as it is today and remember how dark these times are. I don't even like that metaphor. I'll find a new one. things are difficult. Let me be really real with you for the moment to break our little joyful time for a second with the reality of the world. Next Saturday, it'll be May 4th. And while Star Wars is the first thing that comes to many people's mind on May 4th, I am from the town next to Kent State. I see nodding from older folks and a little bit of blankness from some of the younger folks. That's fair. So, Kent State University is a state-run university in Ohio. It is kind of in the middle of nowhere. And during the Vietnam War, it was a location of quite a lot of student protest. They called the National Guard in, and 4 people were killed by the government for protesting on their college campus. I am not able to see armed police entering college campuses without immediately being in Kent. I imagine that for those of you who were young people or even older people at the time who were alive for that, that same slamming into memory might be happening. What's harder is that it's almost worse to look at. That the police are more militarized today than the National Guard was in the 70s. That these children, forgive me, young people, college-age people are children. These people who we need to protect know how to protect themselves from gun violence because they learned in school. I almost can't bear the reality of what I am seeing when I can make myself look. I'm not telling you to look, by the way. You don't need to watch those videos to know that what's going on is wrong. But if you see them, let yourself go outside afterwards. Let yourself go talk to a tree or the river or a favorite flower of yours. Let yourself talk to a friend who shares your values. Let yourself come here and get refreshed because this world is scary a lot of days. One of my best friends in seminary, a woman who I have often called the most brilliant witch of our age, a Filipina trans woman who is Jewish and a pagan and a bunch of things. Whenever times would get bleak when we were together in seminary, and we were together in seminary during the first big wave of Black Lives Matter protests, and we were out in the streets in Oakland getting nearly arrested every night. And when things felt bleak, she would say, "But still, somewhere there is a plum tree. Somewhere a tree is bearing fruit, something that could nurture you, something that could nurture the growth of yet another plum tree." When things are hard, whether they're personally hard or publicly hard, politically hard, ethically hard, I think about the fact that somewhere, maybe something isn't even blooming, but somewhere at all times, something is getting ready to bloom. Somewhere at all times, flowers are figuring it out in the ground. Somewhere at all times, something is bearing fruit and something is dropping fruit and something is growing anew, and nothing has ever been the last moment before. And even the cement, even the asphalt doesn't keep the plants from growing forever. They take everything back eventually. So I want us to celebrate this flower ceremony with all of the joy that these flowers and this community deserve. But knowing that that joy, that connection, that is the thing that holds you on. The ability to be silly in the midst of anything is one of the things that holds you on to your humanity, to our humanity, to being a person in the world where sometimes things do not go as you expected. And all there is to do is a little dance so that you can get back to what you were doing. So the way the flower ceremony is celebrated is that this morning many people brought in flowers and placed them in these vases up here. In a moment, I'm going to invite you to come up carefully, in some sort of order, group by group, and take a flower that is not the one you brought. Pick something that speaks to you, that feels like it's the most you flower available at the time. See if in the uniqueness of this flower, these flowers, you can find a reflection of your own uniqueness and aliveness. I'm going to start with our smallest sections. So over here, all the way on the right, you're first. Come on up and get a flower. All right. When this group has gotten to our friend in the gray polo here, chorus, then you. Okay? All right, chorus, you can join the line. A chorus line, if you will. Also, I'm not hoarding these dandelions, so you're welcome to have a dandelion if that speaks to you. Just leave me one. All right, left section. You can come on up and join the line. So while people are still coming up, I'm going to give a little bit more instruction so that we don't get too far behind in our timeline of this morning, which we are already behind in. So I want you to think about the flowers that you choose. And we're going to have a potluck after this, and I would like to invite you to, during the potluck, find somebody you don't know particularly well and ask them why they chose the flower they chose or what that flower represents to them about themselves. And then share what your flower means to you with them. All right, last group, right side, come on up. Hi, thank you. One of the beautiful things about humans that is not so often true about flowers is that we get to bloom over and over and over again. We are ultra perennial, come back over and over and over, not just for 3 to 5 years, but, if we're lucky, a lot more than that. I want you to look at your flower, and I want you to think about blooming. I want you to think about times when you have blossomed, times when you have seen something blossom, a flower, a community, an idea, a program, a project. Here's the message. We are going to bloom. It has been pruning time. We'll call it that. It has been tough times in the soil. We are going to bloom. Sometimes we're going to bloom like orchids. It's going to take a lot of work to get a blossom. Some of us need finicky, detailed help to get where we're going. Sometimes our communities need it too. We're going to bloom like orchids sometimes and like roses sometimes, but also like dandelions. We're going to bloom like a flower pushing through the concrete. We're going to bloom on the wind and on the backs of animals and with seeds that we drop on purpose. We're going to plant the bulbs in the winter, and we're going to see the blooms in the spring. And we're going to scatter the wildflowers, literally and figuratively, and see them popping up in a chaos of color that is beautiful. Will you just say something with me real quick? Will you say, "We are going to bloom"? Like the orchids, we are. Like the roses, we are. Like the wildflowers, we are. Like the dandelions, and against any and all odds, we are going to. Thank you.